Hello friends, good morning. This is Palani here again. Uh, we have heard a lot about how Gen AI is helping improve the productivity of different functions, right? Be it your marketing function or creative designers or customer support, having Gen AI as an assistant or co-pilot is helping boost the productivity of these functions quite a bit, right? Now, in this video, we'll talk about the product management function, right? How can product management managers leverage these AI assistants, and how can these assistants give them with superpowers, right? So let's dive into that. So if you talk about product managers, there are different areas where product managers can tap into these AI assistants, right? One of the area is around market research, right? As you're aware, as a product manager, before you launch any new product or features, you need to conduct a thorough understanding of the market in terms of what are the customer needs, what are the different competitive landscape, what is the market dynamics and all of it, right, to justify your new product investments. Now here, how can LLMs help? Definitely you can tap into the knowledge that these LLMs have been trained on, and these LLMs a lot of times also have ability to search the internet to gather information, right? So you can definitely tap into the LLMs to conduct a lot of these research on the web for you. And while doing this, one tip is ask the LLM to use some standard PM frameworks, right, when they do the research. And in the following demo, I'll talk about how we can leverage some of these frameworks to guide the LLMs to do the research for us. The other big area is around documentation, right? I know uh, one of the memes that floating around was around how product managers are glorified note takers, right? So, as a product manager, a lot of times you are documenting things for to make sure there is alignment across different teams, right? Be it documenting product requirements, documenting the roadmaps, or external communications, and all of this, right? And for many of these use cases, these AI agents can definitely help you with the starting of the first draft, right? Because a lot of times, kicking off things is there's a lot of block in kicking off things, and AI assistants can help with that, right? Where they can generate a pretty decent first draft for you to start off with, and that will kind of kickstart uh, your efforts to build up on top of that. And in these cases, especially when it comes to product requirements and things like that, it's good to provide context to the LLM with some sample templates, right? That way, and some sample documents which has the style and tone of your communication. And that will help the LLM to adapt its communication style to what you have provided, right? That will kind of make sure the documentation that is creating is aligned with, is more closer to how you would write that document, right? So uh, that is another area. The other big area is around idea brainstorming, right? Because a lot of times when you come up with interesting ideas, you need to make sure you get different viewpoints on that idea. Say, let's say a viewpoint from a marketing view or a sales view of that idea in terms of, is this really sellable to our customer base? Similar, you want to get views from perspectives of different people, right? And here some of the large advanced models like GPT-4 can really come in handy, right? What you can do is you can ask these agents to take up a specific persona and then provide a critical view of your idea from that persona's angle, right? Let's say you can ask the agent to say, play the role of a sales leader in this organization who is selling XYZ products. And if you position this new feature or enhancement or new product, how would the that sales leader critique that product idea, right? I think sometimes these are the reasoning capabilities of these advanced LLM models can come in very handy to provide you different viewpoints in a very short period of time, right? Just using some of those basic prompts. So I think those are some of the use cases where product managers can definitely tap into these AI assistants. Now let's walk through a quick demo of a particular use case, right? So I just started putting together a prompt here. Let's say you are, let's say I'm a product manager who is building a business case for a new product capability, right? So I'm creating a persona for the LLM here. So you're a market research specialist in a fintech company, QuickPay, right? That kind of sets the persona for the LLM. And then you're asking it what you're trying to do, right? The company is looking to launch a B2B invoice automation software that can automate the end-to-end process of account payable automation, right? That's a brief one-line description of the product idea that you have. And a lot of times it's good to provide these frameworks that you use as a product manager or as a researcher, kind of provide these frameworks to the LLM also, so that it can also provide you the research aligned to those frameworks, right? I think in this case, I took the jobs to be done framework, right? So this is a very popular framework, especially for conducting market research, where you take a particular user persona and define what are the functions that the persona needs to achieve, right? So this is kind of not talking about solution space, but talking about the problem space, right? To say who are we targeting, what is their pain point, and then get into what kind of solution you offer to address those pain points, right? So in this case, we are asking the LLM to follow the jobs to be done framework. And the good thing is these LLMs are well aware of a lot of these product management frameworks, right? So you don't need to really explain the details of what that framework is. I think you just can instruct the LLM to follow these frameworks and come up with these with its research, right? So let's put this in and let's see what it comes up with. So you will see I'm using ChatGPT 4 here. This is the paid version. So it's looking into when using the job frameworks, specify tasks that various persona within an organization needs to complete, right? And now, so you can see that it is actually describing, the jobs to be done framework. And then it actually gets into the steps. So first is define the core job, identify the personas, right? So it, since we talked about B2B invoicing automation for account payables, so it is trying to identify personas within an enterprise organization where they have a specific pain point that, pain point related to B2B payments and receivables automation, right? So this is the accounts payable manager. So he has a significant volume of payable transactions, and his job is to manage and oversee invoice payments accurately on time, maintaining good supplier relationships and financial accuracy, right? So that's pretty interesting. It's actually created a real job function of account payables manager, and then it's identified what the pain point there is, right? Since he has to manage a large volume of payables transactions, manual entry, manual processing of these payments can lead to errors, difficulty to tracking the statuses, and these are some of the pain points that they have, right? And then it goes into different personas, right? Let's take a small business owner. He has to play multiple roles within an organization, and they don't have a dedicated finance team, right? If it's a business owner, they wear multiple hats, and in terms of financial processes, they don't have much time to spend on it, right? And they have to maintain cash flow. So these are some of the pain points of the SMBs, right? So it has listed different personas, and then it's identified use cases for each persona, right? Of how this B2B invoicing automation can help that particular persona, right? So here it talks about automating invoice processing from a receipt to payment, right? For accounts payable manager, as and when they get these invoices, they want to automate the processing of those invoices, processing those payments to minimize errors. Similarly, talks about procurement specialist. This is interesting, right? From a procurement specialist standpoint, they need to track three-way matching of invoices, purchase orders, and delivery notes, right? So that is the pain point. That is kind of the use case for a procurement specialist. Uh, so it has mapped out this whole journey here. It has done a good job, I think. This kind of gives you the foundational base, right, for you to then start double clicking, right? You can take this as a foundation and then have your user research plan built on top of this, right? You can target these specific personas within those organizations and try to build a try to solidify your market research. Now, let me see. Let me go to a thing that I executed before, and I'll show you what are the other steps that it was able to do for me. So B2B invoice automation. So here again, first I asked it for a jobs to be done framework for market research. And once it gave the details, the next task I gave it was based on these personas and use cases and pain points, can you come up with a feature list, right? A list of features that can be built to address these pain points. And again, I asked it to use the RISE framework to prioritize the features and come up with a prioritized features list, right? I think this is kind of, this could be, I'm not sure how accurate this is going to be, but just thought of putting it out there, right? So it then takes that and be invoicing automation software. It explains what the RISE framework is, and then it goes into the actual feature list. And I was pretty surprised with the list of features that this came up with, right? So it's talk about automated data capture, right? Where you use OCR and AI techniques to automatically extract data from invoices. And then analytics dashboard, right? I think this is more for finance managers to track their cash flow and how the invoices are being paid. And then it talks about integration with existing systems, right? Because when you go into invoice automation, you would need to integrate this with your ERP and other financial systems, right? And here the persona is IT administrators. And then payments integration, right? If you want to automate the payments, you need to facilitate direct payments to vendors. And then compliance check, mobile notification, multi-supplier management tools, right? This is kind of an advanced feature that it has come up with. And then it does the RISE scoring. It's done a high-level scoring of the features. Then it's come up with a prioritized list here, right? And if you look at this, it's kind of pretty decent prioritization because the first few items are kind of your MVP, and then you have the nice to have features for mobile access notification, multi-supplier management, and all of these are more of a nice to have features that can be prioritized later on, right? And it also says the same thing, lower priority due to their comparatively lower score. So this is pretty good for a first draft. Again, this does not take away the role of a product manager, right? I think this is a great first draft for the product managers to then build upon. And then I went ahead and asked it to write a PRD for an automated data capture feature, right? One of the features that it prioritized. Again, typically if you're asking it to write a PRD, I would suggest providing a sample PRD document as a reference so that it can follow that template, it can follow that writing style and all of it, right? So in this case, it went ahead and it actually did a pretty decent job in defining the different sections of the PRD, right? Your purpose, scope, stakeholders, functional requirements. It pretty much broke down those the feature into multiple different requirements. It also covered non-functional requirements. It called out dependencies. It defined the success criteria, testing, came up with a launch plan, budget resource allocation, and all of it, right? So that's pretty that's a pretty good outcome. And I'm pretty sure if you are able to provide a sample PRD template, it will give you a lot more meaningful document. So I hope you found this useful. Just want to also call out a note of caution. A lot of times some of these product requirements and features are confidential to your organization, right? So in those cases, be very careful in terms of what data you provide to these LLM models, specifically if you are using the foundational models, right? Because this data can be used to train the model itself. So definitely be very cautious of what data you provide to these models, right? The other approach is to go with some of the hosted models like what you have on Azure or AWS, so that your data is secure and that does not be used for training the models further, right? So data privacy, security considerations of your organization is something that you need to be very much aware of before you provide these, start leveraging LLMs for your functions. So hope you found this useful, and definitely start leveraging some of the capabilities of LLMs to kind of get those superpowers, right? So thank you very much, and hope you like this video. Definitely like, share, and subscribe this video, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.